Hey guys, we're back with the podcast, Dori and Kylie.
Hello, hello.
Today our topic is going to be around consumerism and sustainability.
Etc. And like wherever we end up going.
Yeah, it always goes down a rabbit hole.
But this is like a topic that I brought up because it's something that I notice just like a lot, and I just kind of happen to not be like, I mean, everybody's a consumer. Okay, so overall, let's just talk about baseline, laying the base down. If like you don't know anything about this, because I'm trying to like think from that perspective, so I don't just like. So if you don't know anything about this, in the U.S., we live in a capitalist society. That essentially means that like there's like kind of tiers in like people. I'm trying to
societal status.
Like I'm trying to just like because we live in it. It's just like never something I think about trying to describe. Like so
like tiers of income,
like almost
wealth,
like hierarchy. Income, wealth, and then basically profit is like a large priority. Like in this country for everyone, including government, which is why. Well, that's a different story for a different day. We're not going to get into it. But yeah. So because of that, to keep the economy going, there's kind of this culture of consumerism. And I hear people from other countries kind of like talk about it a lot. And like how weird it is when they come here, like how everything's like trying to be like sold to you and stuff like that. But because we live in it, it's so easy to be blind to it, right? And I am just, like, a very natural cheapskate. Like, super don't want to, like, pay for anything if I don't have to. Like, whatever. Kind of, I'm the bitch that's like, well, don't we have that at home?
Right.
I'm the friend that's like, well, you actually don't need that because... And I do that to myself all the time. And it's not necessarily always a good habit to have, but, like, it comes in handy.
I mean,
like,
nowadays,
Monday,
like, with inflation, I would say.
For sure. But... I wanted to talk about capitalism and sustainability because sustainability is super important for the planet. It essentially, in short, is doing all we can to, like, sustain, like, a good amount of, like, energy and, like, climate and everything for, like, the planet and just, like, life. So, I'm trying to think of, like, a real-world example. Like, something that you can continue for a long time is considered sustainable as well.
Okay.
So, like, for example, trying to think of, like, for example, okay, if you order out food every night, like, every single night, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for the planet, but, like, it's not sustainable for your wallet, especially if you're not, like, rich out the butt, right? So, it's like, yeah, that's something you might be doing all the time, but it's not something that you can continue doing, like, long term.
Right.
It's just too expensive to pay for all that. Whereas, like, if you're cooking your own meals, or even just, like, I don't know, there's probably some third alternative where it's, like, in the middle. But if you're, like, maybe collaborating with friends, like, doing, like, potlucks or something, like, you cook this, and we'll all do that. That is something that's way more sustainable. It's cheaper. It is, like, it gives you some longevity. You have more, like, leftovers, like, and...
True.
Yeah, whatever. So that's just, like, a little example of, like, sustainability and what that means. So when we talk about, like, consumerism, we're kind of, like, mentioning how it's not sustainable. Because there's, like, certain, like, resources. I'm not, like, the most literate on this, but, like, I know it. Like, so I know more about it than I can, like, speak on. But definitely there are, so... The main things that we talk about when we talk about, like, consumerism is fast fashion, like, gadgets, subscription services, and, like, luxury brands, even, like, some of the health and wellness industry, like, is a lot of it gets, like, taken advantage of and turned into something else, which I'll get into in a minute. Beauty and skincare products, and then, like I said before, like, food delivery services. Like, those are the types of things where it's, like, really, those are, like, the main things that, like, are being sold to us all the time.
Yeah.
And we're kind of constantly meant to feel, like, in a place of needing something. Like, ads are meant to make us feel like we need something. And I mean, there's ads everywhere, right? But like here it gets to a point where we're so addicted to feeling like we need something, you know, like the 2-day shipping and like, you know, the
right.
dopamine rush you get from like having a package or buying something new or trying a new product. And it's like, it just becomes like kind of, we just get so blindsided to like what it actually looks like on the outside. So for example, I have a pretty minimalist like repertoire of like things, and it's not even because I'm like, I'm minimalist, I'm sustainable. It's literally just because I'm cheap and very much have that mindset of like, oh, do I really need it? You know, and I just like, I don't know really where that came from. I just kind of am like that. But I've seen the opposite where it's like, oh, like I heard this was good, I'm gonna try it. I heard this was good, I'm gonna try it. And I don't know if you ever like know those people that have like a new, they have the newest thing all the time. Like, and
it definitely was like that when my parents bought everything.
Oh yeah.
So like, but not me. Like,
oh yeah, because that's whatever.
Like, okay,
yeah.
I need this.
When you're younger, that doesn't. I'm not talking about children, but you know, like when you get older and you just feel like, I mean, that's a huge thing with fast fashion. So like with Shein and like stuff like that, where it's like, there's a new trend every year, so they're pumping out like tens of thousands of like really cheaply made, probably unethically made clothing items, and because they're cheap, people buy them, whatever. They just want to stay on trend. So it's like, I'm buying these new things, I don't like it in a year, I'm tossing it in a year. Right. It's trash. Even if you're donating your clothes, like eventually it's going to end up in the trash. The whole point is that there's too much shit being made, is my like, the kind of big idea around like consumerism is there's just so much being made for no reason, and resources being used to make things to sell to people who are only going to use them for like a month and then toss them. And so if we go back to like the food example, you can really easily like see how that's not sustainable like for a long time. Like how many, you know, if one person is like, I love Shein, I get new stuff from there every month, like how many clothes are they throwing away?
Yeah,
like,
I could not
every,
even imagine.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
Where
right.
it's like, if you are somebody who just buys stuff like that would maybe last you longer, whatever, it's lasting you long, you're not really getting rid of as much. If you go thrifting, you're giving clothes new life, you're not buying something straight new, which there's nothing wrong with buying new stuff. Sometimes you just need new stuff. But like, you know what I mean? There's just ways around it. So why I find this so interesting is because I came across a couple influencers, like de-influencers, I guess you would call them, on the internet. And I think I found the first one, I forget her name, but I found the first one on Instagram. And if you just type in TikTok or Instagram, like de-influencing, it's actually so interesting because it's literally what I do in my brain when I go shopping. But like this girl does it on the internet for like other people who maybe have issues with that.
Right.
So she'll be like, oh, go into Target and let me de-influence you from items. You know how they have that like dollar section in Target? So she'll like go in the dollar section and be like, I don't need these like vases like or vases or whatever to hold whatever as long as I have. And she shows something that you probably already have in your home, like a mason jar or like even an empty pasta jar like of sauce. Like I don't need to buy something new if I have this other thing. And she does the same. I don't need to buy new skincare as long as I already have skincare that I know works and has worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because it's trendy. Because skin, as much as we like to act like we need these things, a lot of it is really just on trend. Like skin brands and like, that's why I'm like, it's not just clothes. It's like makeup and skincare and like food even. It's like shit gets trendy. And then everybody, like, wants that one thing. It's like, oh, is this going to be my fix? Is this going to thing that fix? And the fix part is also something that gets fed to us by, like, capitalism, where it's like, we need to show you everything that's wrong with you, or even just wrong in general with your life, so you feel like you're in a state of needing and wanting and scarcity.
Right.
So that you buy more and spend your money more. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that because, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that? Now that I've laid it down, what do you think about that?
I guess it made me, I mean, I am kind of cheap like you too. Like, I'd rather try to save my money for, like, other things or future things, important things, or even just, like, I like to spend my money on, like, trips or, like, have a savings for things that I know I'm going to need. Yeah. I don't really spend too much money on clothes. Yeah. Like, it's very often that I will shop, and when I do, I'll buy, like, one thing maybe. I have a lot of clothes because I just have not gotten rid of things in so long. But I'm definitely not someone who
Same.
like goes on shopping sprees like
I
all
have
the time.
so many clothes, but they're not all clothes I wear. Like
I've had clothes since middle school.
Literally the amount of clothes that I have right now it feels like so much, but I would say probably only like 10% of it I wear.
Yeah, me too.
And it's because I just over the years never got rid of stuff. I just became an adult that realized like, hey, you got to get rid of this stuff at some point.
I know.
And I think I also like had an issue like a while back of just like feeling so sentimental about clothes, or if it's like I don't wear this anymore, but it feels weird. Like I loved it at one point, but now I'm so over it because I just want shit out of my way.
I do too.
So I'm like, take it to Goodwill. I don't care. But like I hung on to stuff for so long because of that. But it's not me. I have so much not because I'm buying a bunch, but just because of like it's literally been like a decade of clothes like getting.
That, and it feels so wrong sometimes to throw away clothes. I don't know why, but it feels like weird to me. But
That's why I take shit to Goodwill, because it feels a little bit better, at least. It doesn't feel like I'm throwing them away.
True. I definitely try.
And they take everything.
Yeah.
They just take it all. True. So.
I definitely sit there and I try to pick through clothes to get rid of, and I only ever, like, get rid of a few things at a time. Mm-hmm. But then I still have stuff I know I'm not going to wear, but I'm like, let me just keep it in the pile a little longer.
Yeah, like, literally. I'm like, well, I might need that.
But I definitely am not a splurger. Like, I definitely don't need the newest, hottest things. I think at one point I wanted to be like that. Yeah. I wanted to, like, keep up with everyone. But that's just a feeling I feel like comes across you at one point or another.
Yeah. I think at some point, I think I never have. I think that's also a part of it, because I do notice that, like, a lot of the people who I notice deal with, like, consumerism are, like, this is such a general statement. I don't mean anything bad by it. It sounds bad, but it's like those people in high school that were like popular. I don't know how else to
like
say
the
it.
Mean Girls movie. And
not
stuff,
even
like...
not even just like people who are mean, but just people who are popular and like already kind of with the times and like on the trends. Yeah. And I just was not that in high school. And I don't mean like I'm not like other girls. I literally mean like I just was I was in a different place in my life. Yeah. I'm kind of there now where I'm like, I like care about fashion and stuff, but I wasn't there. So it's easier for me to like detach from that because I just came into it rather than like I've been like this since high school, since like middle school. I don't think I had a phone until my freshman year of high school. And I don't even know if it was my freshman year. It might have been my sophomore. And it wasn't even on purpose. Like, it wasn't like my parents were like, you can't have a phone. Like, it was just like, who's going to be able to afford it, and then what kind of phone was I going to get, and like, et cetera, et cetera. So it just was like a situation of like, I never was on trend, and I'm so used to not being on trend that it really does not bother. If something's new and trending, I'm like, well, do I need it? You know, I'm not like, well, I've always had everything that's trending, so I have to get this new thing, you know? Mm-hmm. So I feel like it might be easier for me because of that, but
it definitely is also how you grow up. Cause now that I'm thinking about it,
because even if I had parents that were like buying me the new thing all the time, stuff, I would feel so like left out and behind if I didn't have those things. Yeah. Like, but because I didn't have those things already, I just am like, okay, well, whatever. Yeah.
I definitely was super spoiled and super picky, but I kind of it's still there. But now that I have to buy my own stuff, I'm pickier. Yeah. Like I try not to splurge too much.
So when we talk about like these different like talking points, I'll talk about a little bit of each of them. So like for fast fashion, like I said, clothing is produced like super quickly and very cheaply, and it encourages like the changing trends, like encourage people to be like, oh, I need that, that's new. Mm-hmm. I don't have that. Oh, I saw somebody wearing this, I need that, that's new. And because it's so cheap, it really does encourage it. I mean, like, there's shit on there for, like, $7. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So it's, like, it really encourages people to... Or even, like, Temu. Have you seen that? Yeah. Freaks me out. AliExpress and Temu. And it's, like, I get it. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and be like, why would you buy from that? Like, if you see, like, the same thing somewhere else, but just, like, cheaper, like, $15 for something that costs you, like, $60 somewhere else. Yeah. It's, like, yeah, I want to buy it. But it's also, like... In my head, I'm just like, where is this coming from? Yeah. Why do you have hundreds of clothes on your website?
That is true.
I just come thinking too much about, like, the background stuff. Yeah. Of, like, where's your warehouse? Who's making these things? Yeah. Like, and I have a couple of things from Shein, but they're secondhand. I got them off Depop. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're perfect because most of them are statement pieces. Like, I have a pair of zebra pants from Shein, and I got them for $10. On Depop. Yeah. And so I don't even know I think the girl who bought them probably got them for like 15 or something. Yeah. Maybe 20, not even. Yeah. They are very cheaply made. They don't, like, necessarily look super cheap, but they're not something I wear every day, so it doesn't really matter to me.
True.
They're a statement piece that I bring out every once in a while. But I was able to give it new life. And when I tell you I was looking up those zebra pants, there was, like, an entire wall on Depop of people selling those exact same zebra pants. Shein, like, whatever. And so I was like, yeah, I have a couple of those things. I think I have a tank top that, like, is a basic piece that actually I do wear a lot. But, like, most of the stuff is, like, little statement pieces that I'm like, oh, this is for when I go out. And I don't go out like that. So, it's like, it really doesn't bother me that they're, like, cheaply made. And they're comfortable enough for now until I get stuff that's better. But, like, that is...
Didn't they say that the people that were making the Shein clothes were, like...
asking for help?
Yeah.
No. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know if that's true, but, like, it was on the tag
and
or
they're,
something.
like, little kids or something.
Well, okay, so the thing is... actually, let me get some more information on sweatshops. Can we talk about sweatshops? Sweatshops.
God. Scary.
Okay.
Info
Because
on
we know that, like, we know that sweatshops exist. When I think of a sweatshop, it's just, like, a bunch of kids or even just people who are very, like, poor working and sewing all these clothes, like, a bunch of clothes, like, and with a boss that's, like, yelling at them, like, you need to get these clothes done.
Yep.
And they're making, like, 75 cents a day.
Yep.
If that.
That's
what I think of. I don't know if that's actually what's happening, you guys. That's what I think of. So I'm looking some stuff up on it right now. Okay. So sweatshops. Okay, they're factories or workplaces, typically in garment, electronics, manufacturing, etc., where workers are employed under extremely poor conditions. Conditions often include low wages, long hours, unsafe environments, and a lack of basic workers' rights. And I think that a lot of times they get away with it because it's in a different country. That's why a lot of things are, like, quote-unquote, made in China. Mm-hmm. But I honestly don't know too much about that. So I don't want to, like, say that I know exactly what that is. So with the long hours, yeah, it says, like, they don't get, like, breaks or, like, overtime pay. They're working, like, 12 to 16 hours.
That is insane.
Like, a day.
12 to 16 a day.
Low wages.
24 hours in
wages
a day.
paid in sweatshops are usually far below a living wage, meaning that the workers are paid just enough to survive, but not enough to improve their living conditions. Unsafe environments. Sweatshops are notorious for poor working conditions, including exposure to harmful chemicals, unsafe machinery, inadequate ventilation, and a lack of proper safety measures. Lack of workers' rights. There's no legal protections for the workers. They're being exploited. Many sweatshop workers are vulnerable populations, such as women, children, and migrants, who are often exploited due to their lack of bargaining power and limited opportunities for better employment. Child labor, which is what most people think of as, like, children, a bunch of children in sweatshops. Sweatshops are frequently associated with the use of child labor, where children as young as 10 or 12 years old are employed. These children are often forced to work instead of attending school, trapping them in a cycle of poverty.
Instead of attending school.
Global supply chains. Yeah. Role in consumer goods. Sweatshops are often a part of global supply chains of major multinational companies. Products made in sweatshops include clothing, electronics, toys, shoes, which are then sold in developed countries at low prices. So that's the tea on, like, Temu and, like, Shein, is, like, they're being made in these other countries where, like, there's not, like, workers' rights laws like we have in America. So, like, they can really hire these people, pay them nothing, but work them to the bone. And then these items get shipped over and sold for nothing. Because, I mean, you have to think about it. Everything is sold at an inflated cost. Yeah. Because otherwise nobody's making profit. Right. So if you are buying a shirt for $7, there is a high chance that shirt only cost, like, $1 or less to make. Which means they're getting a lot of profit.
Where are they getting those materials from, then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The materials are made cheaply. A lot of the materials are plastic, acrylic. Like, so those materials are made cheaply, and then they're paying the workers, like, 75 cents. Like,
how does one work at one of those? Like, what is, like, the process? Like, are people willingly being, like,
it's people,
sign me up?
Well, yeah, it's the same as here, as people are willingly being, like, sign me up, because it's, like, well, it's that or dying on the street.
No, I guess.
So it's, you know.
Is that their only, like, kind of line of work over there? You know what I mean?
Oh, no. There's other lines of work, but it's, like, it's just, like, it's a chain just like it is here. Like, what am I keep saying hierarchy, but I don't mean that. I'm talking like socioeconomic status, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, people in like lower class, upper middle class, like shit like that. I mean, they don't have those exact like classes over there, but like I'm assuming it's something similar to that. Okay, yeah. Where it's like if you grew up in a poor family and you're 10 to 12 and your parents can't make rent, they might be like, you need to start working, like, and helping. And then you're not in school. And because you didn't go to school, you don't have any trades or any skills or anything. So you just keep working in the sweatshop.
True.
I mean, that's just, like, a possibility.
Wait, while we're speaking about this, because that just reminded me, because you said, like, rent and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find it. I was looking up, like, kind of the cost of living in different countries in comparison. Okay, perfect, right here. One day I was just looking it up. So, cost of living in Bali. Example table of monthly expenses in 2024. This is kind of gonna, like, blow your mind. Because I was just wondering, like, because inflation is getting so bad here. I was wondering how much it might cost in other countries. So it says in Bali, a couple can live like royalty in most towns for 1,900 like total, like every bill included per month.
Okay, that's like
every bill. If you choose to live right by the beach in a 3-bedroom villa with a pool, it's sure to stretch your budget. But like, meaning 1,900 being the most.
Yeah.
So it says, this is the breakdown. So this is in US dollars too. It's not in like rupees or whatever their thing is. So rent goes anywhere from $500 to $1,100. So rent, the highest rent that you will probably pay there is $1,100. The lowest is like $400 or $500.
That's how it used to be.
So
like
ready?
A decade ago.
Electricity, $60. Water, $5. Your mobile phone, $10. Gas for your house, $2. Internet, $15. TV, $25. Eating out will only cost you, like, if you ate out a lot per, like, that whole month, eating out would only cost you $120 to $250. That's like one meal here. Eating out $120, like for two, 3 people maybe. If you have a housekeeper, which would come 6 hours a week, that's only $90 a whole month for a housekeeper to come 6 hours a week.
That's crazy.
$90 a month.
That's crazy.
That's like $90 per day here. If you want someone to come clean for a couple hours, $90.
Yeah.
A gardener, $24 a month. A pool maintenance person, $30 a month.
Rich in Bali.
Transportation, if you need a car or a scooter rental, $50 to $250 a month. And then fuel for your car, $30, and health insurance, $45. So that brings your monthly total to $1,006 to $1,936.
Wow.
You could be paying a little less than $2,000 to have a housekeeper, a gardener, a pool maintenance, plus all your bills, like, but plus those people doing all that stuff for you. And crazy. You could live in a villa by the ocean.
Oh my
I'm
God.
moving to Bali.
Why that is like,
because it's just not that's like one of the cheapest countries. Like, our dollar is like, what would it be worth so much value over there? Or
yeah,
worth
more.
Because I think our dollar is like 0.000 something cents to them.
Yeah, no, it's so weird. Like the entire I don't fucking
I
get
could
it.
pay all my bills and have a housekeeper and a gardener and a pool maintenance person for less than $2,000
I wonder how much a
a
pool
month.
costs.
That's true.
Literally.
I
I'm
didn't say
saying it's probably
that,
also
yeah.
really cheap.
No, oh my god. I'll put that pool in for you.
Yeah.
$2,000.
No, literally. Like, what?
That blew my mind when I read that. And I was like, because if you think about it, if you do that math, say you're paying $2,000 on the high end, the whole year, it'd be $24,000, right? Total?
Yeah.
All your bills. I'm
Wow.
sorry, here we're probably paying...
That's how much teachers make in a year. Here.
We're paying probably like $60,000 for all our bills here.
Probably
More?
than that. Probably more
Jesus
than that.
Christ.
Ew, it's sick and twisted. Ew. It's really
That's why
so
I'm
gross.
saying if you are not rich, if you do not own your own business, if you are not a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, we're not, like, if you're not something in, like, the healthcare or the legal field or own your own business, you're gonna suffer here. Like,
and that's because we're capitalists.
Yeah.
So it's everything's for profit. And so to circle back, that's how consumerism connects to capitalism. So essentially, like, consumerism directly benefits capitalism by fueling, like, the economy. So they have, like, incentive to, like, want to sell you things and want you to buy, like, all these things and doing it unethically. Like, that's why when you, like, go to, like, fair trade brands and stuff like that, like, pair of jeans is, like, $150 and you're like, I can't afford that. So a lot of the reasoning I hear behind, like, buying Shein and stuff like that is, like, well, not everybody can afford, like, the ethical option, right?
right.
Which is, like, a fair point to make. But I also think it's kind of a cop-out, and that's, like, a hot take that I have. I just think that it's kind of an excuse. And the reason...
Because if that wasn't around...
The reason being,
you have to be spending...
And let me tell you.
that much money on clothes.
A lot of people...
Shein's, like, new.
This is, like, my hottest take ever. I think a lot of people are making excuses, and I think a lot of people don't want to feel bad about their decisions, and they use, like, their own, like, hardships to make it seem like, oh, well, like, I can't afford things. All I can afford is Shein, so, like, you can't make fun of me for buying it, or you can't shame me for buying it because I'm of a low socioeconomic status. Some of the most sustainable people, if not the most sustainable people in this country, are people who are impoverished or homeless. They have the least. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be homeless. That's not my point. But my point is they have the least. They buy the least. They reuse. They recycle because they don't have a choice.
Right.
People who are super, super poor are not, because then they bring those people up too, like, oh, you're blaming, like, poor people for not being able to afford, like, $150, like, fair trade, ethically sourced cotton jeans. I've never bought those.
Right.
I'm never gonna buy those.
Right.
The thrift store exists.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's where most people are buying their clothes. My mom grew up super poor. All of her clothes were from Goodwill. If not, hand-me-downs. I mean, she was the oldest, but, like, a lot of people talk about hand-me-downs from their siblings. Like, families who are impoverished are almost the most sustainable because they are reusing everything. Where you're reusing plastic bags that they get from the grocery store. They're making meals that stretch all week. Like, you know, they're not eating out every day because they literally can't afford to do that. So I really hate the excuse of, like, well, what if I can't afford anything else? Because it's like, there are ethical options that are affordable.
Right.
You're choosing not to do those. And also, fine. If you can't afford it, that's fine. But why are you getting new stuff every month?
Stop. I was going to say that.
That's what I was
going to say.
Those are two different people. There's people that buy from Shein and then they're like, you know, that's their wardrobe, whatever.
Yeah. But
there's people that are buying every month.
I was going to say that.
I don't really want to hear you talk about what you can and can't afford.
That and your $7 coffee every day. Like,
let's not talk about it. Like, don't use poverty when you're not impoverished. Like, even if you're not rich. Or you
are, but you're spending all your money
I don't want to hear
shopping.
No, because there's people that are actually, and to be minimalist, and I'm saying this as somebody who loves trinkets, I love things. I'm not saying, like, you need to white out your walls and have nothing but a plant in the middle of your table. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to be minimalist is to be sustainable, because you just have less. You're consuming less. That being said, I don't think, like, trinkets are in the way of that. I mean, unless you're, like, literally hoarding them, like, whatever. But, like, to have the least amount possible, like, if you meet somebody who's homeless, they have, like, maybe 2 outfits. Like, I'm not saying you need to have 2 outfits. I'm just saying think about it. You know what I mean? Like, I have, like, a couple go-to going out outfits, a couple different combinations of things, but I don't need, like... Oh, that was one of the things in the de-influencing videos, is, like, she went to the bathing suit section and was like, I don't need a bikini as long as, like, the 10 I already have are good, right? And even 10 is, like, a lot.
That is a
like,
lot.
I'm not saying you need to only have one. I mean, if you... Honestly, most of us don't go swimming enough to need to even have, like, more than one. Yeah. But I think it's reasonable to want more than one to just, like, cycle out, right?
Right.
I think 3 tops.
Yeah.
Why do we need more than that?
Unless they're breaking, they're
they don't fit, whatever.
They don't fit is a...
Even,
it's definitely a good one.
Yeah, a good one. Or even if you just don't like, if you don't like it anymore, but you've had it for a long time. If you just bought it last year, what are we doing? Yeah. If we're hoarding 10, like... I keep saying hoarding. If you're hoarding 10, like, swimsuits, just because you're like, ooh, I don't have a zebra one. Ooh, I don't have a... cheetah print one. Ooh, I don't have this one with, like, the cool wavy pattern that's cool this year. Like, it's just not necessary. Because I'm telling you what, like, I think I said this to you the other day when we were talking about swimsuits, where I was like, I got to a point where I realized I could, like, wear a swimsuit, and I was like, oh my god, I need, like, to have, like, 10. And that was mostly because I just always see, like, swimsuit hauls. I remember, like, growing up on YouTube, like, watching, like, swimsuit haul, like, these are the swimsuits I got, and I was like, oh, so fun, like, to have, like, 10 swimsuits. But I was like, I realized very quickly, I was like, I go in a pool maybe 2 times, 3 times a year. And even if it's more than that, like, say I round up. Like, say I round up, I'm going in the pool, like, 5 to 7 times a year. In what world do I need 10 bathing suits? Yeah. Like, people don't need to see me in a different bathing suit every time I'm in the pool. Yeah. Like, it's just not necessary. Like, it's just not. So, maybe let's just have 2 and call it a day.
And
like,
we don't even live in a place where it's summer all year round.
And even if you did...
Still, like, you still don't need more than, like, a handful.
A handful is fine. Maybe, like, if you want different styles, maybe 1 bikini, one piece. 1, like,
do you remember tankinis?
Yes! I literally was gonna say, I'm trying to think of another style. Tankini.
As a kid, I'm dead.
And then maybe just 2 of whatever your favorite is. So, like, 2, you know, like, if you need different styles, whatever, like, different things for different, like, maybe you have one where your ass is out. And you have one that's, like, more appropriate for, like, a public place. Yeah. Like, that's fine. But you don't need 10. Ever. Like, ever. You don't even need, like, 7. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever. I would literally cap it at 3. I would say 3 to 4... if you really, like, have different styles, whatever, but, like, cap it. Like, that's just one of, like, those things. And, like, all those, like, dollar sections, too, of stuff where you're like, what even is this? I swear the dollar sections...
That's what we did the other day.
The dollar sections have gotten crazier. Yeah. Because I remember when I was younger, like, they were kind of cool stuff. It was stuff that, like, just kind of happened to be, like, small or cheaper or, like, $1. Now it's, like... Do you want this, like, wooden thing that kind of looks like this other thing, and it is $1, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Or do you want this orange cup because it's almost fall? Like, what? Also, I do want to say that I think they've definitely taken advantage of holidays and how, like, all of us are so unhappy, so the only thing we ever look forward to is holidays.
I have that theory, too. And that's the only reason holidays exist.
Because, well,
we
not
need
even
something to look
not even
forward
the only reason
to.
they exist,
not
because
the reason,
they have, like, history, but, like,
it's
the reason that they're starting to, like, why is there Valentine's Day stuff in the stores in January?
Yeah.
As soon as Christmas is over, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, every holiday.
And that's every holiday, and it's kind of, you can argue that it's always been like that. When I was a kid, stuff didn't, like,
I don't think...
fall stuff and Christmas stuff did not come in the stores until at least, like, September.
Yeah.
That I could remember.
Yeah.
There's been, like, Halloween stuff since, like, mid-July.
Yeah.
Like, I even think end of
June.
June.
Pushed back.
And that being said,
next year it's going to be beginning of
June.
June.
I'm a Halloween girl. But I will say it does become less special if it's all year. Like, we're doing this, like, we're just pushing it all year. They're like, the next holiday. Yeah. You know, you go into Joann Fabrics, there's, like, you know, I'm not saying we don't need decorations and stuff like that. Like, that stuff's nice, but it's, like, you can tell they're, like, commodifying it. They're, like, oh, you need this candle and you need this, and it's almost 'tis the season, like you need this red thing, you need this green thing, like the colors are being like used, you know what I mean? And I just think it's so interesting, and it's so easy to fall in that trap of like, oh, I need it because it's like almost time, or like, and I think a lot of it does come from, that's why I really don't want to judge people, because I think a lot of it does come from the dopamine rush that you get from buying something, and just the idea of like it feeling good to have something that's your own, because really, truthfully, in this country, in this world, we don't have a lot that we feel like is ours 100%.
Yeah.
Especially, like, everybody's, like, fighting tooth and nail, like, living paycheck to paycheck, like, if getting something or buying something or eating out every day feels like that thing, it's, like, it can be really hard to let that go.
Yeah.
But I'm, like, I don't think we need to stop. It's just the culture we live in. I just think we need to really cut it back. Like, the 3 new iPhones every year is kind of just fucking with me.
I know.
It's kind of just fucking with me, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like, can I just keep my phone long?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fighting... I'm not actually fighting
I have
any
an old
urge,
phone,
but, like,
so.
I want to get a flip phone so bad.
I know.
So
I thought about that the other day.
bad. I was like, why don't I just say... Because it's, like, the closest thing to off-grid I can get with a phone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's too convenient to have, like, and not even, like, addiction-wise, it's, like, I can pay off my credit card, like, I don't need to, like, go online, like, I can do it all right from my phone, so I'm, like, it's kind of too convenient, but, and I heard, like, somebody else in some podcast talking about this, where they were rich enough, and they said, obviously, this isn't super practical, they were, like, very aware of that, but they were, like, I have 2 phones, like, I have a, like, fun phone, they called it, like, a bad phone, though, which I feel like, let's not moralize things, that's kind of... But called it, like, a bad phone. They were, like, a bad phone and a good phone. And one was literally just for, like, calls and texts from, like
straight up
immediate people.
Yeah.
Like,
or work
their
or
family.
Something.
No, not even work.
Oh.
Like, or actually, yeah, maybe work. Yeah,
like
maybe, I forget. Because they're, like, a big influence. Was it Emma Chamberlain? It might have been Emma Chamberlain. Guys, it might have been Emma Chamberlain. I don't know. But I think she was, like, big enough for where it was, like, she was, like, all of her texts were mixing. I can only imagine, like, having one phone for everything. Like, your friends are texting you, but then also, like, people you work with are texting you. And you're an influencer, so it's not like you can do every single thing through oatmeal. Oatmeal. Email.
Where'd oatmeal come from?
I don't know.
You're hungry.
I'm literally not. Those crackers really got me. Guys, I had some Triscuits.
Well, that makes sense for, like, the bad phone to be your influencer phone.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right?
It was, yeah, she said, like, the bad phone was, like, Instagram and, like, all those apps.
Socials.
And the other one was just, like, phone call, text.
Actually, that's low-key smart.
It is, but, like, we can't all do that.
No,
you know
we
what
can't,
I mean?
It's
not,
just,
you know.
It is smart,
but, it is smart. And then you paying for, like, the bill for both is, like, you know, she has enough money to do it.
Right.
So she definitely addressed that.
It would be annoying
like,
as fuck to carry both of them around, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you go on, like, a walk or something, you don't need to take the bad phone.
You shouldn't be taking any phone on the walk, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, you still have a phone on you. I'd like to just, like, leave my phone for the walk.
Yeah, until somebody's creepy's behind you and you can't call
true.
anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I feel like that's, you know, we just need to, like, separate a lot of stuff. Like, I feel like things need to just get separated. Because, like, why did TikTok... Everybody was, like... I just remember when TikTok started, like, the TikTok shop, everybody was like, like, no way TikTok's trying to sell stuff. And now it's all ads. It's those same people are like,
stuff off TikTok
I swear, and I can't even lie to you. Like, some of them I'm like, damn. But I swear it's all Temu stuff because you go on and it says like $6.
I've only bought bucks off TikTok.
No, some of it's fine, but like, and some people are like actually selling their stuff. Like, my mom bought hot sauce off TikTok. Like, this guy was like homemaking hot sauce, and I have him in my fridge right now. So it was like him that, you know, got him. But sometimes I see stuff that like they notice I'm looking stuff up, and it'll be like sports bra $7, and I'm like, I'm not buying a fucking sports bra. I don't know. Like, there's certain things and like that are weird. Some of it looks fine. Like, some people are looking at a water flosser, but I'm also like, I think it is kind of that, like, where is it coming from?
What's a water flosser?
It's just like high pressure water thing that like gets through your teeth and like yeah.
Maybe that's better.
It's not better than flossing. People say, like, dentists said that you should also still floss if you're using them. And I was like, well, what's the point? But it gets like really hard to reach plaque like off because it like But I mean, if you're somebody that's like, I literally could not like ever floss, but I could water floss, it's like better than nothing for sure. But they say it does not replace flossing. So I do both.
I do both, just in case. When you said she has 2 phones, that reminded me when I had my flip phone. That's also when, like, the iPod was coming out. So then I had a flip phone and an iPod. And I literally had to take both everywhere. And I was just thinking about how annoying that was. Like, because your iPod had all your socials and stuff. But that was when, like, the iPod couldn't have any, like, calling or anything. So I still had my phone.
I remember before I got a phone, I asked for an iPod Touch. Because I was like, it's the closest I can get. I was like, I can get apps. I won't have text or call. I mean, I'll have iMessage, but I won't have, like, text or call. But I'll have apps, and it'll almost be like a phone. And I did. I got an iPod Touch for one of the Christmases. And I was like, this is iconic. And I could listen to music, and I could go on YouTube, and it was, like, so interesting.
It was. That was, like, the first, like,
iPods are dead. No, there's no iPods anymore. iPod Touch was the last thing.
Yeah, I don't think they even can still, or not can, but I don't think they sell them anymore.
Yeah, no.
They also don't sell phones over, like, a few years old. Like, there's no phones past, like, 5 years old or something.
Weird, which is it's so annoying because it forces you into buying new stuff.
Do you remember the shell iPhones? All the different colors. I had the white one.
Yes. Those were so
blue,
popular,
the
2014.
Yellow, the white one. I had the white one.
Oh my god.
Those were so cool. They can't sell them anymore.
They were like 5C because it was 5C for color.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I love the white one.
So fun.
They just felt so
vintage
cool.
now.
Like,
what
so
the hell? Yeah.
Shelly feeling.
Yeah, what the hell?
That was cool.
It's crazy, truthfully, guys. Like, but yeah. I mean,
I miss it. I still have, like, all my phones somewhere. Do you remember the iPod Shuffle?
Yes.
The little square.
I never had one of those, but my friends
had
and I
a
was
purple
like, that's
one.
so cool.
The colors were so cool. They were, like, icy colored.
Yes. That was the color of my iPod Touch. It was, like, the same, like, metal type whatever, but mine was blue.
That's so cool.
But that was, like, the back of it. I remember being like, oh, there's a camera. I could, like, take pictures.
But wait, what was the thing before the iPod Touch?
The iPod Nano.
Nano, that was
which
the one
was like
where
the
had
skinny
the screen.
one.
Was that also the one with the screen?
It had a screen. It was like an iPod Shuffle, but with a screen, with a tiny screen.
Yeah, because the Shuffle was the
where
little
you could
square.
see the song. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
that's so crazy.
I forgot that name, that word.
I can't believe they got rid of
the Shuffle. You literally couldn't see any of the songs.
I always was so confused about that. I was like, how do you even know what's coming next?
You just skip through it. It was
that's
so weird.
Fun. I guess it is just shuffling.
Yeah.
Like, you just shuffle through it. Wow. I wonder how much that was. It's giving $45, but...
Yeah, but I feel like at that time it was probably like $100.
Really? Oh my god, that's so scary. Oh my god. How much was...
I remember it being so cool that you could, like, plug it into the computer and transfer songs onto it. So great. I can't remember if I ever had the Nano. I don't think I did because I had the Shuffle. But I used to love the little icy colors.
Wait. You can still buy it? Question mark.
From
No.
Oh.
Wait.
Maybe.
So okay, wait. Press release was February 19th, 2008, and I was very close. Wait. It says. Wait, I'm confused.
It was like 11.
So it says iPod Shuffle now just $49.
Now just $49. That's what I'm saying.
New 2 gigabyte model priced at $69. Today
96? Knew it was close to 100. I had a feeling.
69.
Oh, 69?
Yeah. I'm seeing 49 and 69. So it was something like that. Yep. That's crazy.
You can buy it now for $45?
No, I don't think so. I think this is old because it says newsroom. This is Apple. This is Apple's website, but it says like this was the press release for it. So I think this was all the information during that time.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, maybe the Nano was like $199 or like $150.
Maybe it was the Nano. But yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy. Like, so crazy how much, like... If you think about it, that really was not that long ago. But we've come up with like 9 million things since then.
That was like 15 years ago.
But yeah, shit will cost you money. Also, it's expensive to be a consumer. Even though it feels good, I feel like it's really addictive for people, but it's expensive. Like, yeah, I just, like, eating out every day is not...
It's just gotten more and more expensive.
It's expensive, and it's also, again, just not sustainable, because you think about, like, especially as somebody who, like, cooks a lot, like, even if you don't know how to cook, like, there's meals that you can make yourself, like, really kind of cheaper at home. Like, even, like, heat up shit, like, whatever. That's why I'm not saying, like, you need to learn how to cook or whatever, but I have a friend that, like, goes out pretty much all the time. Really? And we, like, when we were going out, like, I was just thinking about it because I was like, oh, this is, like, expensive.
In Michigan?
Like, yeah. I was like, this is expensive. It was so weird because I was, like, thinking about it and comparing it to my grocery prices. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she's ever, like, really...
grocery shopped?
Not like that, yeah. So, or really made a meal. Like, she mostly just eats out. So, like, she just wouldn't know the difference. But I was looking like, damn, like, this one meal that, like, I didn't even get leftovers from. Or if I did...
sometimes it's not...
Sometimes you can't.
The worst...
bring leftovers.
It's the worst when you don't enjoy it, too.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you should for that price.
Yeah. And it's not even, like, it was crazy expensive. Like, I'm talking, like, walking away paying, like, $25. Like...
But then tip.
Yeah, and tip and whatever. But, like, all of that, I'm thinking, like, damn, my groceries... This is, like, 2/3 of my groceries for the week. When I just, like, make something at home. And that being said, if you do get good at cooking, you don't really want to go out anymore, to be honest. Because, like,
true.
You can just kind of make whatever you see in the...
at
the restaurants. I swear to God, that's what I do. If I see something that looks good online or in a restaurant, I literally make it. Like the chicken piccata that I was telling you about. Like, I literally was like, ooh, I'm gonna try that. And I just look up, like, a bunch of recipes and, like, just kind of throw it together. But I can do that because I've literally been cooking for so long now. So it might not be as easy for, like, other people. But still, you can always just follow a recipe to a T. Like, you know, that's never really gonna wrong you. But...
If we're being honest, I really only like to go out to eat if it's, like, a fancy restaurant.
Same.
It feels
or
so
if it's
much
special.
better.
Like,
yeah,
just
special occasion.
Like either a special occasion or a restaurant that just feels special.
Yeah.
Like, because there's some restaurants that aren't fancy but feel special. If you don't know what I mean. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, some places, like, there's a ramen place that we go to in Michigan, and it's not fancy at all. Like, it's kind of cafeteria style.
It feels special.
But it feels special because it's nowhere else, and they have really good ramen. Like,
yeah.
So, in that sense, like...
See, like, hole-in-the-wall places?
Yeah.
Or fancy places?
Yes.
What am I
Anything in between. Why are we going to Outback?
Tully's or Outback? What serotonin, what dopamine am I going to get from spending $100 there?
They are frying frozen fries.
Literally.
You can go to the store and get the frozen fries and the tenders, ?
No, that shit makes me so mad.
We were actually talking about it because I went to the fair with my friend, and there was so many people with Tully's, like, chicken tenders. And I was like, there's so many vendors at the fair that you don't get to eat from that aren't from, like, around, you know what I mean? Like, they're not, like, just around here. And everybody at the fair is getting Tully's, which is everywhere.
Oh, my God. I
I'm like,
can't.
You don't want to try the new stuff? Or, like, these little holes.
Yeah, no.
Don't have lines, but Tully's has, like, 4 lines going. And everywhere I look, there's, like, a Tully's, like, chicken tender
I
fry that
I
somebody's holding.
I literally don't understand that either. Also,
I don't get it.
Tell me, when I went to the fair, I bought a deep fried taco, 2 of them for Caleb and I, and then a bottle of water, and it cost us $43. Fuck the fair.
I spent $43 at the fair also. Like exactly $43. I think
mine was exactly
That's so fucking weird. Because I remember I added all up. Oh, I was so mad too. I was so mad. I went to this one place and got a vegan grilled cheese.
Oh.
I know. I was
like... Was it the grilled cheese, like...
Yes.
Specialty place?
It was,
like, where they have different...
Yes.
Like,
yeah. It was called, like, Bees something.
They have, like, so many different kinds of grilled cheeses. Yeah.
And I got it, and don't get me wrong, it was good. It was not as good as the ones I make at home. Because they didn't use, like, the good vegan cheese for it.
Oh, and then they probably charged you out the ass, too.
It was $9 for grilled cheese.
That's
but
crazy.
I was so hungry.
Bread and cheese. I know.
I literally wanted something better, and we were, like, searching for it. But it turns out the thing that I was looking for was only at the fair on the 19th. Yeah. Because they had, like, vegan hot dog, vegan chili dog, vegan sausage. And I was like, that's something I don't make all the time. Yeah. So, like, that's something I would want to get here. And I would spend $9 on, even though it's overpriced, happily. Ends up paying $9 for a grilled cheese that I, like, was like, okay, this is, like, mid. It was, like, good, but it was, like, mid.
You know what I did? I went to the potato booth and paid $1 for a sweet potato. Like, with, like, syrup and butter and brown sugar. And then $1 for tater tots. Oh, and then I added cheese, broccoli, sour cream, And yeah. And it literally cost me like $3 total.
Oh,
that's the cheat code there.
Tell me why I got...
They have a load of baked potato, too.
I got pickle lemonade.
Oh.
It was delicious. It was...
Wait, you... Stop, because you said you got that last year, and I meant...
No, somebody got it last year.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody in my group got it.
And I meant to get it.
And I was like, that sounds so good, and I didn't get it because I had already got, like, pickle on a stick.
You said it was so good.
So I got it this year, and it was so good, but it was too big. It was honestly something I would rather split with, like, a friend. And when I mean too big...
How much was it?
It was $11. $11.
Could you make it? Was it literally just pickle juice and lemonade mixed together?
Yes. So, but they put little pickle slices in the cup. It was so good.
I could do that, too.
Yes, I know, but it was
I know. It's
here's
like...
the thing.
It's
I would have
to
happily paid $5 for it. Like, I don't regret buying it.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it's like... I didn't ask for, like, this size. You know what I mean?
Was
like,
there different sizes?
It wasn't so... No.
Oh.
They just gave you, like, a special cup, too. So I think that's part of the reason why they, like, charge you so much. But it was, like... It was probably... I'm not saying it was, like, crazy monster huge. It was probably, like, a regular, like, large cup at, like, a fast food place. Like, it was a large. Or, like, even a medium. Because things are kind of big here. So, like, maybe a medium to large size. But it was, like, halfway through, I was kind of, like, okay, yeah, like, that was good. But, like, I still had so much more.
Ew, and then you have to carry it around the whole fair or throw it away.
I kept carrying it around, and so I kept sipping it and being like, okay, I'm kind of over this. And then we were talking about getting wine slushies, and I was like, I can't really get a wine slushie. I still have, like, pickle lemonade.
am holding my...
And they were like, don't throw it out. And I was like,
why didn't they split it with you?
Well, because it wasn't... I just wanted it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like two people were like, oh, we want the pickle lemonade. It was like... I was like, I want to get the pickle... But I don't regret getting it because it was so good. Yeah. But I also was like... I would have rather gotten, like, a small for $5 or something, you know what I mean? Like, I had to pay $11. So that was, like, 11. And then I paid 9, so that's already 20. And then
not to mention the fare admission and or parking.
Oh, I had to pay $8 for the fare. We took a shuttle, so it was $1. Right? $2, yeah, $1 each way. So $2. And then $8 for the wine slushie. And I think that's all. Oh, and then we got ride cards. So maybe it wasn't 43 because I added it up before.
The ride pass? Those are expensive.
We did, but we split them.
Oh, okay.
But then I think the one girl just kind of, like, was like, it's on me at the end. And was like, I just wanted to, like, have a good time, so it's okay. So I think I ended up not spending 43, but it was like, it would have been.
It would have been.
And I got a sandwich.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, it's okay.
But the grilled cheese sandwich with the pickle lemonade at the same time.
Oh, that would have been. Those were at two different times, too. It would have been.
It would have been like pickles on the grilled cheese.
Oh my god, but the pickles that were inside the lemonade, I ate them. They were so good.
So cute. Now I want one.
Dude, you can literally make it. If you get literally the most basic pickle, like the one that has like the green liquid at the store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to get a fancy pickle at all, and then just pour it in some lemonade. And in fact, I think I could make it better because their lemonade was kind of too sweet for me.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't sugary. But it was like, I think it would be better with like a sour lemonade.
Do a lemonade stand.
Yeah.
And we'll sell it.
Yes. Pickle lemonade.
Just like when I was a kid and I did lemonade stands.
Oh
I made
God,
$60 one time at my lemonade stand in one day.
I've never had one. That's so fun.
I've been a boss ass bitch since I was a kid.
People love giving kids money, but nobody wants to. I remember anytime I got $1 when I was a kid, I was like, I'm saving it.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm saving it. And then I would ask my mom for something. She'd be like, didn't I give you $1? Because I'd be like, can I have some gum? Didn't you get $1? I'd be like, I don't want to spend my $1.
Yeah. Then
that's...
I always wanted the bouncy ball at Old Navy.
Yes.
In the freaking machine. Always put that quarter in.
Every
always
time.
get a bouncy ball and bounce that shit around Old Navy.
You guys, this was a podcast really for food for thought. So
this was a good podcast.
I think it's good because I feel like you don't always need to come to a podcast having all of the information. Mm-hmm. But I love planting a seed for food for thought because it's a lot of things that like people don't think about to the day to day. So if you start thinking about it, if you're interested in this at all, I really highly suggest that you do some research. Yeah. And I don't mean, like, get on some boring websites. I mean, you could do that, too. But, I mean, there's research that can be done with, like, watching YouTube videos or even TikTok videos. If you just look up, like, consumerism and, like, fast fashion, you could learn so much from, like, multiple people. And obviously take everything with a grain of salt. But there's so much to be learned. For sure.
That was a good conclusive. So, yeah, I think that's... Is that how we're...
Yeah, I think
we're
so.
good. Yeah, I think that was a really good podcast. So, leave any comments if you want. Follow along our podcast. I do post them on TikTok. You can leave a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. But, yeah, catch us on the next one.
See you.
Bye.